Right then, back out in the cold again. As you can see, right, we have improved our cleaning up area. So now it's a lot smaller, as you can see. And the bike has been completely stripped. Now, the idea of making this smaller is to... It's great, isn't it? Isn't it great? Is to... We are actually going to paint the bike in this garage. And so we've got to get some heat because it's bloody freezing in here. So I figured a smaller area is less to clean up at the end of the day and easier to heat up as well. So we'll see how we go. But this isn't about painting, this is about cleaning up still. So there was a comment from someone, can't remember who it was, but they said about getting the paint off. Have a go with one of these. Now, I've just been to the model engineering exhibition with my dad up at Alexandra Palace, and so I bought a selection of things to try here. So I've got one of these, okay, one of them, one of these, so this is quite soft, one of these, which is very much the same thing, just a slightly different material, and one of these. Now, I've never seen these before, but the guy that sold it said it's fantastic for getting paint off without damaging metal, which is exactly what I want to do. So I want to get the metal, I want to get the paint off this frame, but not damage the metal. Sandblasting is going to take forever, as we saw that with the swinging arm. So if I can get the bulk of it off with one of these things, then that'll be fantastic. Okay then, we'll try this one first. So it just screws straight onto the end of the grinder. Job done. And where now? Can you see the top frame? We'll just have a go at going down here and see what it turns out like. You're going to be able to see that from where you are? Yes, you are. Good. Come on then, let's do it. Oh. Tell you what. Let's turn the grinder on first, shall we? Okay, take two. I'll tell you what, that's pretty good, that. Very good indeed. Now I don't want to move you off your perch yet, so I'll show you this in a minute. So top frame then was done with that wire wheel. Let's get rid of that. Ow, 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 ow. Ooh. Let's try, well, I guess the other wire wheel will probably be the same, won't it? Should we try this green thing? Let's put this on the right way around first, eh? So this is like a Brillo pad sort of style thing, but rough. Well, it's not that rough. So let's do, I'll tell you what then, can you see the bottom frame leg from now? Okay, we'll do this one. We'll do along here with this, and we'll just see what that looks like. Okay. fucked that up already. Look at the state of that. You know what? I reckon, hold on 1 second. Okay, that is not aggressive enough for taking off paint, but it's good for polishing the metal up afterwards. So where I've gone over where I took the paint off with that wire wheel, that's made that a lot better. Okay, so what we could do in a minute, probably take it off with that and then polish it up afterwards with those, I would imagine. But let's see what this thing does. Let's do the other side frame down tube. In fact, yeah, that's going to show, isn't it? Oh, well, we'll do. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go along here. It's quite rough down here. Could you see that where you are? Yeah, you can. Let's have a go. Now that's good as well. Okay then. So far as taking off paint then, let's have a look and see what it actually looks like. So far as actually taking off paint, that's very, very good. That's very, very good. They're still no good. They're good for polishing up though. So this, took this one off here. You saw how quick that was. It wasn't bad at all. See, it's very pitted this, but that's not because of that. That's because it's probably about 1 million years old. But very good, not too aggressive. So it hasn't sort of scratched the paint or done anything at all. It's just actually physically taken the paint off, and that's all it has done. Now, if you look at the top here, let's see, hold on a minute, let's have a look. So this was the wire wheel that's taken off here, and as you can see, again, quick, sort of whizzed the paint off like nothing else. Very, very quick indeed. I reckon it's more aggressive than that, so it's sort of like got fine little scratches in the paint, which aren't a problem because the paint will cover it anyway. The new paint will. But where you can see where I've just sort of polished it up with that green Brillo pad sort of disc. Really starting to get somewhere with this now then. I've done most of it, to be fair. And how have we done it? We've done it with these little wire wheels. Very, very good, these things. I got this one, didn't I? Remember I got this one? And this worked fantastically. The only problem is when I started going around some sort of like little sharp bits like this with it, you can see how that's worn away. It wore it away really, really quickly. I reckon if I was just doing flat tubes and things like that all of the time, this would probably be the best thing to use. But when you're trying to get into little bits here, there and everywhere else, that disappeared in an instant. And so I've been using these, and these are very, very good. Very, very good at what they need to do. So that just screws straight onto the grinder. Now, one thing with this that I didn't even think of, but you know, if you've never used one before, be aware. It looks like there's plenty of meat left on this thing. As you can see, there's lots and lots of wires coming out of it. However, where bits of these have fallen out, it's got a real vibration now. You can't use this. There's vibrating so badly in the grinder that I've had to stop using this one and basically throw it away. So even though it looks all right, it's not any good anymore. These are good, so I'm just using a combination of that, which is like a deeper version of that, and it just depends on which bit of the frame I'm doing as to which one I'm using. Very abrasive, but I think on an old steel frame like this is fine. You know, you wouldn't want to do it on anything too soft. There's quite a lot of pitting on this frame, so we'll have to see how it comes up. You know, we have to think about its age. What I'm going to do now then, I'm going to cut off the brackets that I don't want on it, and then I'm going to sandblast all of the little bits and bobs that I couldn't get the grinder onto. So there's a lot of spaces that you just can't get into with a grinder, so I'm going to sandblast those. But this is taking the paint off. It would have saved so much time. So thank you to whoever's suggestion that was. So that's going to come off. We don't need that anymore. These are going to come off if I can get them off. They're all welded on, so I'm going to have to grind them off. Hopefully without damaging the frame. That's coming off. That's coming off. Around here, there was a bracket that I started to take off ages ago. That's going to come off. Centre stand. Centre stand's going to come off. This is an engine mount. So I'm just going to cut these across here. I'm going to leave, I was going to cut it off as well and make my own, but I'm actually going to keep that bracket there. That's the side stand bracket. And I think what I'll do is I'll get a side stand off of that bracket again. One came off of it. Whether or not I want to use that original one, I don't know. But I think I'm going to keep this bracket. Right, I reckon we are as good as done. It's very late now. I can't do this anymore. I've been grinding away, making loads of noise. So that's it. I'm going to stop. However, I think I've ground and taken paint off as much as I can with the little grinder now. So I've taken off the centre stand bracket. I've taken off the... Where are we? I've taken off these brackets that were on the side here. And I've taken off the steering damper bracket as well, so that's gone. I've got two bits here that I can't get to with a grinder, which I'm going to have to do with a file just to get rid of those. One bit there and one bit there. But I reckon, so far as our frame is concerned, that's just about it. So what I've got to do then, sandblast the rest of it, which I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you any more sandblasting, am I? I've got to weld up nice, a bit much more tidily. These and the steering damper bracket, and we'll get a bit of a nicer shape out of the steering damper bracket as well. We'll get all of those welded up, get the frame cleaned up, and yeah, I reckon then we'll be actually thinking about painting, won't we? Which will be interesting. It's not something that I've never done before anyway. So, yeah, that's it for now. There's the frame. Looking pretty good. I'll sandblast it off and I will get back to you as soon as I can.